anything you need?
No, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
lawmakers there would allow minors between the ages of 14 and 17 to share nude photos as long as they are consensual. Right now, teens can be prosecuted if they share these types of images, but the new bill would make it so law enforcement could not get involved. So we want to know, what do you think about this story? Do you think teen sexting should be legalized? You can sound off on our Facebook page, KITV. I know a lot of people were saying because, you know, they don't want these kids to get penalized. They don't really know how serious of a crime it is.
Yeah, and I think sometimes they have to register as sex offenders. Yeah. So, kind of hard.
Terrible. It is 6:11, and we are still giving away two Randall's gift cards, to $100 Randall's gift cards, I should say. All you have to do is keep listening for the word of the day.
Also, not your average police chase where this unicorn escaped from, and the tools law enforcement used to keep tabs on it.
And you're taking a live look over downtown Austin. A beautiful look at our Capitol there this morning at a chilly 45 degrees as you're stepping outside.
The KI Fútbol Asociado habrá una.
It's free on every new Mazda purchase. That's a value of over $2,000. That includes a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Real value. It just feels right. Roger BC Mazda, online, rogerbcmazda.com.
John Sevier. He's created jobs right here in Texas. Founded a company ranked one of the top 10 places to work in our area. He co-authored one of the largest tax cuts in Texas history. He fights to secure the border and successfully worked to put more manpower and technology along the border. He was praised by Governor Abbott for his strong character and conservative leadership. Working for us, fighting for us. John Sevier, our state representative.
Save now during the AutoNation Savings Event. This is...
And off some pretty fierce attacks from Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. Both those senators want to stop Mr. Trump from effectively running away with the nomination for the Republican Party in the Super Tuesday state primaries. That's next week. Gary O'Donoghue reports.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Republican candidate.
A final roll of the dice for the 5 remaining Republican candidates ahead of next week's big showdown in around a dozen states.
Mr. Trump. Thank you.
He still dominates the field, winning 3 of the first 4 contests, with the other candidates reluctant to attack him full on, up until now.
For example, you're the only person on the stage that's ever been fined for hiring people to work on your projects illegally. You hired some workers from Poland.
I'm the only one on the stage that's hired people. You haven't hired anybody.
At times it descended to the level of the playground, basket case, liar among the insults Donald Trump hurled at Senator Ted Cruz.
You don't have one Republican senator backing you, not one. You don't have the endorsement of one Republican senator, and you work with these people.
Senator Cruz.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Donald, if you want to be liked in Washington, that's not a good attribute for a president.
This is the place the candidates and their teams come to try to shape tomorrow's headlines after a debate full of acrimony. But there is only one real message from this event. Donald Trump's challengers have finally decided to take the gloves off. In 4 days' time, these states will get their chance to vote for the Republican nominee they want. Almost a quarter of the crucial party delegates up for grabs on one day. Not all of these candidates are likely to survive that test, but it will give a nervous party leadership a clearer idea of who they should back if they want to stop Donald Trump. Gary O'Donoghue, BBC News.
And you notice as I've shaped them, I've put them on flour. It could be cornstarch also, because they'll stick, and we don't want them sticking. So I'm just going to add salt to my water, which you do at the last minute. Plenty of salt. This is particularly true with starch. Potato, rice, pasta, that salt's got to go in when they go in. So in it goes. This is kosher salt. Now I'm going to put them in and turn it down to a bare simmer, because if it boils wildly, they might all fall apart. And even so, sometimes they do. And don't panic. Just carry on. These take about 3 to 5 minutes. Usually fresh pasta only takes about 1 or 2. Remember, this is a double layer. Okay, and I'm going to give this a little stir, because we don't want them all sticking to each other. Now I'm going to get some basil for the topping. Basil and tomato sauce. Wow. going to check one. I can see they're getting sort of clear around the edges. I'll take a little tiny taste off the corner. Those are just about there. I'm going to start setting up. Okay, so sauce on the bottom. You can put sauce on the top too. And I just tasted this and re-seasoned it. It's very important to taste it. So let's put this on the bottom. And then we're just going to put these guys on top. Ah, so pretty, aren't they? See, they're substantial. There we go. Moving on. Okay, tiny bit more tomato sauce on top. We need to have a little more Parmigiano Reggiano right over it. And finally, a little bit of basil. What a perfect weeknight meal, don't you think? My wonton ravioli stuffed with 3 cheeses and peas. Recipe for cream biscuits that you can turn into so many different baked goods. They only involve 5 ingredients and no yeast, which is a good thing because I'm going to make biscuit sticky buns for my friend Whitney, who's going to be here in a half an hour. So we're going to start here with the cherries. And so I'm going to chop some cherries. These are dried cherries. You could use dried cranberries. You could use currants. You could use raisins. And this is a half a cup. And we have to resuscitate them. We have to get that water back in. So what I'm going to do is put these in a little pan and then add some water and a bit of rum. If you don't want to have any alcohol in the recipe, do not add the rum. That is absolutely fine. And we're going to heat them up, and what that does, the combination of the heat and the liquid will make them swell up. So that is a 1/4 cup of water. And now 2 tablespoons of dark rum. Brandy would be wonderful in here. Anything you wanted to flavor, or you could leave it out, just a little more water. So I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and then I'm going to turn it off and let it sit while I make the rest of the recipe. Because now I'm going to make the sticky part of the sticky bun. We're going to start with some honey. I'm just using a little liquid measuring cup. That's about a 1/4 cup of honey. Now we want a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. This is light brown sugar. You could use dark brown sugar. What brown sugar is, by the way, in case you ever wondered, it's the white sugar with some molasses. I'm using half a stick of butter, 4 tablespoons, and this doesn't take very much time at all. Okay, now I've toasted some almonds, and the reason we'd like to toast nuts is because they just have more flavor and they have a toasty aroma. Here. Whenever you make biscuits, you always have flour. You have a leavener. Usually it's baking powder. It could be baking soda, depending on what else you add. And then you have a fat. In the South, of course, they might use lard. Other people use butter. And then you have a liquid. What's really cool about cream biscuits is that the cream does double duty as both the liquid and the fat. Okay. So now this is going to go in the bottom. This is a 9-inch non-stick cake pan. And then I'm just going to put these nuts right on top. So now I've got everything ready. I am going to start making the dough. So I'm going to put in this bowl 2 cups of unbleached all-purpose white flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of table salt, and 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar. Now, I'm going to add somewhere between 1 1/4 and 1 1/2 cups of this heavy cream, just enough to form a dough. And stir it up. This is my favorite kind of thing to make because it's so quick. You don't want to overmix it. As soon as you add liquid to flour, you start to develop the gluten in flour, and that can make a dough tough. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to put this on the counter. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit of flour in my hand so I don't stick all over the place. And I'm going to take the palm of my hand and smear this just to get it finished mixing. I think it's mixed. There you go. Now, the only slightly time-consuming part of this recipe is rolling it out. Put the flour down and put a little flour on top too. This is a very good rolling pin and the right kind to use. Okay, so you can see this is not a perfect rectangular, but it's roughly 10 inches by 18 inches. So I'm going to drain my cherries. Okay, now I'm going to mix some more brown sugar with 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. We're going to sprinkle this on top because you've got to have that stuff in the middle too, don't you? I found the easiest way to sprinkle this over the dough was just with my hands. Smells wonderful. Now, our cherries. Okay, good. So now we're going to roll up all this wonderful stuff inside of the dough. So you fold it over like that and press it down. And then just keep rolling. I'm going to cut it in 1-inch pieces, and then we're going to lay it in here cut side down. So I'm going to put this in a preheated 425-degree oven for about 15 minutes. Wow, don't those look fantastic? I've let the sticky buns sit here on a rack for just 5 minutes because there's a little bit of carryover cooking time. You want them to finish setting up. But now I'm going to pour a little extra sweet stuff on them. This is a 1/4 cup of honey. I'm just going to drizzle it over the top. And this way, the honey just goes down and sort of soaks through. Okay, the hard part's going to be unmolding, but that's okay. I'm going to come on down here and take them out. You know, the first one is always the hardest. Ooh, yum. Wow. Oh, boy. All that yummy, sticky stuff at the bottom. Doesn't get much better than this. I'm going to take this out and go find my friend Whitney. So what do you think?
This is really good.
So isn't this fun having a little coffee party in my backyard?
I think it's great. I can't believe you spent the time to make these for me.
Well, you know you're very special. I spent all morning doing it.